Welcome to Ted Brown Music Company. Today we'd like to talk to you a little bit about upgrading your brass mouthpiece. Before I talk to you about brass mouthpieces and what makes each one unique, I'd like to tell you a little story about my own personal experience. When I was in high school, my band director sent me down to the music store and said, I want you to go down to the music store and buy a 6.5 AL Bach trombone mouthpiece. And so I went down to the store, but the wise man behind the counter said, the Bach 6.5 AL is a great mouthpiece. But however, each person has individual choices that they find in trying out a mouthpiece. Why don't you try these 5 on the counter here? So I got out my horn, tried all 5 mouthpieces, and found out that the Bach 7 mouthpiece was actually a better fit for me at the time. So it's really important to actually try mouthpieces before you make an investment into a better mouthpiece. Because sometimes people will make recommendations to you, but it might not be the best fit for you. So that's why we're going to talk about what kind of components go into a brass mouthpiece so that you will know what to look for when you start trying them out. First of all, a brass mouthpiece is made out of brass, but there are other choices. There are certain acrylics now. There is stainless steel, there's tungsten, all kinds of different things that they are making mouthpieces out of. But for most of us, a brass mouthpiece with a silver or gold plating is something that most of us use. In a mouthpiece like this diagram shows you all the different components that go into the making of a mouthpiece. First of all, we have the cup diameter, how big around your mouth that mouthpiece is going to fit. We have the rim contour, whether it's flat or rounded. We also have the cup volume. The shape of the cup makes a difference, how deep it is, how flat it is, and then we have the air going through the venturi and then to the back bore. And they do a lot of things in the manufacturing of the back bore that will also make some differences for you. So let me explain a couple of these things. One thing that I like about this particular Shulkie chart is Shulkie does a 4-character numbering system. They have a letter number, and that allows you to actually know exactly what the mouthpiece characteristics are as you do it. In this particular chart, they've labeled this a 14A4A mouthpiece. The 14 refers to the diameter. Now, I would like to insert at this point, with Shulkie and Bach mouthpieces, there's a major difference. Bach numbers, as they get smaller, the mouthpiece gets larger. With Shulkie, as the number gets larger, the mouthpiece gets larger. So there is no correlation between Bach and Shulkie numbering systems. That's important for you to know. But anyway, so back to our chart here, the 14 tells you what the rim diameter is of that particular mouthpiece. The letter A refers to the cup volume. So A happens to be a very small or shallow kind of cup. And as the letters get bigger, then the cup gets deeper. The next number has to do with the rim contour. The 4 is a semi-flat rim contour. And then there's a rounder, semi-round, standard, and so on for the rim contours. And then the last letter has to do with the back bore. And the back bore, when made tight, will compress the sound a little bit more. And what we're looking at on this particular mouthpiece, a 14A4A, has a very shallow cup with a flat rim and a tight back bore. That tells me that that's the kind of mouthpiece that would be something a lead trumpet player in a jazz band would like. So it wouldn't necessarily be the best choice for somebody that's looking for a nice big round classical type of sound. Now, Shulkie does do something interesting. If everything is standard on the mouthpiece, it may just have a number. It may just say 16. And what that means is if you see a number and no additional characters, it means it's a 16C3C. So that's kind of gives you a little insight into the Shulkie numbering system. But each one of these components affect how the sound is produced on the instrument. It also might be interesting to note that weight of a mouthpiece can be an important factor in trying out mouthpieces. This particular mouthpiece is a Bach megatone. Shulkie also makes the heavyweight. When you add mass to a mouthpiece, what it does is it takes away some of the ambient vibration and focuses more energy into the horn. I have found as a musician that playing on a weighted mouthpiece will often make the sound a little bit more dark or classical or if you're a lead trumpet player, sometimes it just puts so much energy in it that it really assists in the full tonal capacity of your upper range. So you can also consider using a weighted mouthpiece when you're trying out mouthpieces. A brass musician should be looking for a mouthpiece, the largest mouthpiece that they can comfortably handle. If you get one that's too large, you will find your intonation starting to go a little bit haywire. But if you get one too small, you might be assisting your upper range, but not the full range of the instrument. So the important thing is, when you're trying out brass mouthpieces, is to take a collection into the practice room along with a tuner and sit down and try the full range of the instrument, find out where any intonation flaws might be, making sure that you're playing better in tune. And then the other thing is that you need to make sure that you're not just accommodating one range of the instrument, because as a brass player, you have to be able to play the full range. And as you're practicing and trying out the mouthpieces, you want to try staccato, you want to try legato, you want to try lip slurs, and you want to try loud, you want to try soft, and go through the full range of everything that you play on your instrument so that you can feel comfortable in that mouthpiece selection. Because mouthpieces should be done kind of one at a time. You shouldn't have this full range of mouthpieces to play measures A to B in a particular piece of music and then change mouthpieces at letter B. You should be having one mouthpiece that will cover everything for you. So I would suggest you stop into Ted Brown Music Company at our band counter, talk to any one of our professionals there, and they will usher you into a practice room with a selection of mouthpieces to get you started, so that you can start down the road of improving your sound and being a better musician. Thank you.